Morning guys, and welcome back to Life as a Chem. Today I will be explaining the C in my name, and C stands for celiac, and that is the end of my cheerleading career. Also, I would like to apologize for any excessive noise. As you can see, I decided to do this vlog outside because in my previous video, check it out, I explained the effects of lockdown and how to deal with it. And this is one of the ways I am dealing with it. So I am on a ledge. For those interested, here is my ledge. Hopefully I didn't turn around too fast. Hello. I'm going to be using this video today to discuss what celiac disease is, signs, symptoms, effects on nutrition, psychology, but most importantly, I'm going to give you the one tip that saved my life. Because honestly, I was the worst celiac disease advocate out there. So bear with me as I take you on my medical celiac disease journey and give you that one tip that saved my life. What is celiac disease? I'm not going to get all Wikipedia on your ass, so I'm basically going to say celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder. It is basically when our bodies can't identify something foreign, which in this case it is gluten, so it attacks the ass of our own tissues, and mostly the small intestine and the stomach. Oh yeah, and that over there was me kicking celiac disease ass, even though I'm defending myself because gluten still kicks my ass. Anyways, I will be doing 3 videos, posting every Thursday about what CEM means. So before I start, I'm going to put on my jacket because it is freezing. And if you like what I'm saying, want to hear more about me, don't forget, push that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and let's start. Now, people with celiac disease can have various symptoms. Some people are actually asymptomatic, which means that they have no symptoms at all. And other people, such as myself, the symptoms include changes in bathroom schedule. I know I said that so eloquently. Not being able to keep your food down, bloating, mood swings, and many other things. So it's very hard to diagnose in the beginning. So my medical journey was a bit more complicated. It was not the standard, went to the doctor, got the blood test. I lost a lot of weight really fast. I lost 12 kilos, which I will put up here how many pounds it is because I cannot do the conversion in my head right now. And as you can see from the picture up there, I am this and this. There's like no comparison. And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning I loved it because basically I was losing weight without doing anything. And the reason I was losing weight is because I was eating gluten. I was eating pasta, I was eating burgers, I was eating crepes, things to fatten me up, when in reality it just made me lose more weight. However, as the days progressed and things I noticed that shouldn't be happening, such as me putting on my underwear and it falling right off, and the fact that I had to buy new clothes, not that that was a turning point. The turning point was me looking into the mirror and seeing someone that was very sick. That's what led me to understand that something is wrong. So I turned up good old Google search and started to research my symptoms. Now, looking up your symptoms can be a double-edged sword because after a while you come up with some crazy theories such as prostate cancer, which obviously not possible because I am a woman, but I tried to keep things logical. And the 2 things that I came up with in my search was celiac disease and Crohn's disease. So taking into consideration the hereditary component of celiac disease, and remembering that my grandmother, for example, was allergic to toast, which is a really weird allergy to have, I thought to go towards that hypothesis first. And also the fact that for Crohn's disease, the confirmation of diagnosis is a colonoscopy. So I was like, oh, let's not go there yet. Now, ding ding, for my chronically ill friends out there, and feel free to comment below if this is something you've noticed too, the higher the doctor is on the medical tier, the higher he is on the pyramid of medicine, the cockier he is. Which makes sense because they've in order to get there, they've had extensive experience, they've had many years of dealing with patients and listening to the symptoms. However, sometimes they don't listen. And if there's anything I can say aside from this tip I will be giving, is that if you have a gut feeling, even if it doesn't turn out to be the right feeling, pursue it. And here's why. I went to this doctor, and I went there with my hypothesis, and I began to explain to him all the symptoms and what I was experiencing and what my theory was. However, he wouldn't listen, and he diagnosed me without requiring any blood tests or anything with IBS, which stands for irritable bowel syndrome, and he gave me a diet saying come back in a month. Now, I'm a little bit of a drama queen, so when he said that, I responded to, great, I'll see you in a month. I'll be the one in the coffin. Little dark, but I was pissed. So I went home and I decided to take matters into my own hand. I looked up the code, the blood test for celiac disease. It's pretty simple. You basically eat a shit ton of gluten the day before, and then they test you for the antigen antibodies, something called tissue transglutamase antigens. Anyways, and they see your count, and that is how they confirm that you have celiac disease. So I decided to go all out. I thought, if this is my last day as a gluten freak, I am going to go out with a bang. The next day, I went to get that blood test. So I walked in very confident with my blood test code, gave them some BS that I forgot the doctor's note because obviously these people have better things to do than accommodate, let's say, a hypochondriac 24-year-old. Did the test, and guess what? It was positive. So obviously, I went back to the same doctor. I know it's petty, but I wanted to rub it into his face. And I was kind of like, I think, and that was me, by the way, slaying my blood test, I think I have celiac disease. His ego was bruised. He looked at the blood test. He said, yep, it looks like it. Now for the second step, the gastrocolonoscopy. And I was like, and that is where my Google search was lacking. Because, my friends, I neglected to see the second step of confirming celiac disease, which is gastrocolonoscopy, meaning basically that they stick a tube down here and up here and look at your entire intestinal system, your entire digestive system. So results came out positive. I was confirmed for celiac disease, great, but they also found 2 bumps, and I had to wait for 2 whole weeks to see if they were benign or malignant. So basically, cancerous, non-cancerous. And I will be explaining in my second video how this is the second time I had to wait to see if I have cancer. Now, long story short, got celiac disease, didn't have cancer, all is well, thank God. Like I said, if you do have a gut feeling, follow it. It may not be correct, but in this case, I probably saved my own life. And I know this is kind of cocky to say, but he didn't believe me. This is the part where I'd like to thank the gluten-free trend and the gluten-free lifestyle, hashtag gluten-free, because thanks to you guys, even though it's kind of a slap in the face because us celiacs are kind of like, well, we were there first, thanks to the gluten-free lifestyle, we have so many more options of where to eat and what to eat. So again, thank you. So this is the tip that I was promising you guys at the end of this video. This one simple tip. Like I said, I was the worst celiac advocate. I could not go a week without gluten. But the beauty of the human brain is that it is malleable. You can negatively condition your brain to associate an activity, a habit that you've done for years, with a negative experience. Now, maybe you've heard of Pavlov's dogs, which is positive conditioning. So every time the bell went on, the dogs would run for food, and they positively connotated the bell ringing with food. So we're doing the opposite. We're taking a negative experience. So for people that have been diagnosed with celiac or are wondering if they have celiac disease, you probably have had a negative experience. Now what I want you to do is take that negative experience and relive it. I will share with you my personal negative experience. So one day I had eaten gluten 2 days before, and I was at work, and for no apparent reason, as I was working, I wanted to laugh my ass off. And I did, and I pretended to see something funny on my computer. Fast forward 20 minutes later, I wanted to burst out crying. Again, for no apparent reason. That mood swing scared me so much that I thought, never again. So I want you guys to take the most negative experience you have, and every time you see something with gluten, force yourself to relive, refeel, and re-fear that moment. It's going to take a lot of practice, a lot of will, because obviously it's not easy to change a thought process that you've had for years. Personally, I had it for 24 years. But now, every time I look at something with gluten, my stomach will literally contract and I will lose all appetite whatsoever. However, if I know that same thing that I was looking at, let's say there's a gluten pasta and there's a gluten-free pasta. If I know that the one right next door is a gluten-free pasta, appetite's fine. I can eat it. So please feel free to comment below if this is something that works for you. Like I said, it takes time, it takes will, and it's not easy to do. However, that one simple tip saved my life. That's it for now. The next one I will be doing the E, I think that's an E of my name. Stay tuned for next Thursday. If you have any tips for me, please feel free to comment below. We are all in this together. And don't forget, if you like what I'm saying, push that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. If you're wondering about the shower head, check out my previous video. And yeah, that's it, folks.